The big story, the Supreme Court's big statement has come in this morning on bulldozer justice, and the Supreme Court has said very clearly that the executive cannot become the judiciary and demolish the homes of an accused. The top court has issued guidelines for the use of bulldozers and details of what will happen if these guidelines are not followed. Let's take you through some of those key takeaways. Number one, a mandatory 15-day notice must be given to the occupants of alleged illegal structure before its removal. Number two, if the owner fails to contest or respond to the notice, the state would be permitted to proceed with the demolition provided the entire process was videographed. However, action will be taken against public officials who act in a high-handed manner. Beyond this, if houses of accused or convicted are demolished without following the process of law, their family will be entitled to compensation. Any orders for demolition will need to be displayed on the government's digital portal. There can also be no demolitions without issuing a show cause notice. Let me go across to my colleague Harish, who is joining us with more details. Harish, these are very emphatic guidelines coming in from the Supreme Court, leaving in no doubt as to how illegal the process of bulldozer justice is.
Yes, in fact, a landmark judgment as far as this controversy raging across the country is concerned. Remember, there were serious allegations that Muslims, in fact, they were saying that Muslims accused of crimes and against whom FIRs are there, their property is being demolished and people from minority are being singled out. So Supreme Court has today said illegal bulldozer action is illegal. In fact, illegal, malified and unconstitutional and violation of separation of powers, saying that executive can't replace judiciary, and the Supreme Court has very clearly said merely if an FIR is registered or because a person is suspect, accused or even convicted in a case is no ground for demolition of property, and such public officials, errant public officials be made accountable. And in fact, most important that guideline is that the responsibility of restoring the property illegally demolished is on the errant official, and that money has to be paid from his own pocket. And Supreme Court said even before guilt is proved, how can a person be punished? And just because he is involved in a crime or an affair is registered, how can his shelter be taken away? Because as per the criminal jurisprudence, one is innocent until proved guilty. Just because an affair is registered against him, how can his property be demolished and he be punished promptly? And what is the role of judiciary then? This is what Supreme Court is asking. And has said that such high-handedness, unilateral action has no place in a country with rule of law, and state has a responsibility to protect citizens from arbitrary actions. And the only exception being that only if the property is in a public land, public road, government land, in a footpath or abutting water bodies, or in a forest land or a railway land, can such demolitions be done immediately? Otherwise, a due process has to be followed. Yes, some guidelines include that proper time should be given, at least 15 days time to be given to file an appeal, and also proper show cause notice should be issued, proper hearing should be done, and also for relocating, saying that it's a very sad sight to see women and children lying on the road. So such action is totally unconstitutional and arbitrary. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Harish. But do